Welcome back to the Laurence McKenna channel. Liverpool have just won 3-2 at Wembley against Man City, main rivals for every other main thing this season. So what does this do for Liverpool's season and what does it do for City's season? Let's unpack that in just 1 second. First of all, thank you very much to everyone who got me to 25k on this channel. Really appreciate it, guys. You have been amazing. And thank you to everyone who also watched the interview with Joe Gomez, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Sadio Mane. That's all from them for now, but hopefully at some point in the future we get some more interviews with them. If you're coming back as a new sub, welcome. It's good to have you guys. It was pretty satisfying, to be honest, to watch Liverpool go up 3-0 in the first half. But when I saw those starting lineups, I kind of expected that. Liverpool went extremely strong. The only change maybe would have been Keita on for Henderson. But even then, you think those 2-8s, as Klopp had pointed out in the previous game against City, would have been so key. They had so much work to do to get up and down, to break the lines, to be able to intercept and tackle so many of those City players. And they did it so perfectly. Fabinho and that whole midfield acted as one unit. And Thiago, everyone else, made it so difficult for Man City to even get through and get those balls over the top that they originally had. I think Liverpool probably played a bit deeper in this game. They probably played, obviously, with Konate to be able to combat elements of what City did in that last game. And I actually think Trent had the better game of the two fullbacks today in terms of defending. Robbo a couple of times was exposed where City went in behind him, and I just don't think many teams try to do that. And so the balance and what City were trying to do was more easily negated by Liverpool because it's what they would want more sides to do. They weren't as aggressive. They didn't look like they wanted the ball or this game nearly as much as Liverpool did. And there was an element of revenge from this side. I certainly think Sadio Mane will have felt that. And early on, when Liverpool got that goal, there was an element of relief. They would have felt early on, we're playing not the strongest City side. We can get a result here, and a good result as well, not just like snatching something. You know, this was a decent result here for Liverpool, and I don't think 3-2 really reflects the overall balance of the match. You know, we're looking at a side here in Liverpool and City as well, who are two of the best in the world, and the fact that City rotated so much and then had this result in this way, I think they'll be really disappointed, because there are elements of momentum, and I'm sure that level of rotation will be the same for Liverpool. The mentality reaction will be the same for Liverpool as it would for City. They'll go, just another game, get that one out of the way, move on. We've got Champions League, we've got Premier League, all these things to concentrate on. But for Liverpool to look forward to another final, for Liverpool to have that idea of the quadruple at least, even if the practicalities of what City need to do in the league need to be changed if Liverpool need to win it, or even for Liverpool to need to go through in the Champions League, there are still all of these things on. And I believe this means that Liverpool are the only team to have gone this deep into a quadruple challenge at this point. Obviously, there are other sides like Manchester United who've done the treble, but that is testament to what Klopp is doing here at Liverpool. To have a team that a couple of seasons ago, people were talking about burning out, having the same consistent starting 11, all these issues that Liverpool had. Even Naby Keita, even not having someone who could also look good in Liverpool's midfield when we didn't have Henderson consistently starting. You know, we were worried which quality international midfielder could we have. Thiago comes in and makes a massive difference at Liverpool. He had another good game. He goes under the radar. He's consistently doing class things. He's consistently doing things that are so relevant to what Liverpool need to be able to do to go forward. Break up the play, distribute quick. Break up the play, put it back, reset the play. Alisson, early on in that first half, did not have a great game. I was a bit disappointed by that first half for him, and I think his wayward passing almost got Liverpool into trouble a couple of times. He'll know that, but I also think that, you know, for some weird reason today, Virgil van Dijk did look a little bit off it, did look a little bit tired, and that's by Virgil van Dijk's very high standards. So you wouldn't expect a lot of this. You kind of want Liverpool to get it out their system, not everyone have a bad day at the same time, and then you can cover for a lot of these issues that you see elsewhere, should we say, around this Liverpool team. Mo Salah still not hitting the back of the net. Kind of doesn't matter because the emphasis can be on the side of Mane, but there will be a point where he hits it and it just, something comes out of that. But I'm still not quite sure where that comes. You kind of want it to be one of those games where Liverpool are a bit frustrated and he saves the day in a way. You hope it isn't down to his contract negotiation. You hope, and you don't think it is, because looking at his level of effort on the pitch, looking at, you know, even at the Champions League, he came on the other night, he was tracking back. I still think he's just waiting for a goal to come, and frankly, the fact that he is still such a threat means that teams still need to cover him, and it means that there is space for Mane, there's space for Diaz. Speaking of Diaz, again, another great game for him, no goal rewarded. I thought he was fantastic again today. Beautiful dribbling with it at his feet. Great interchange with a number of players out there. Deep, manages to break. He's bedded into this side so quickly, and it's fantastic to see what a great player he is. It's fantastic to see how quickly Liverpool bedded him in. Credit to Pep Lingers and Klopp, because they've made him feel like he's been there all season. He feels like he's had a pre-season at this point. And then the final one, the jewel in the crown today, was Sadio Mane. He was absolutely fantastic. There's no getting around the fact that Mane is if he's not at his peak at Liverpool now, he's certainly having one of his peak seasons. I feel like he's almost showing off sometimes. He enjoys the level of competition that is currently there. He enjoys the competition with the opposition. He's your classic leader who leads by example. And I can imagine that his positivity and him being up in the dressing room is great when you complement that with Virgil van Dijk, Henderson, everyone else. There is still the fragility at Liverpool, though, and I think that's worth addressing later on in a video like this. I hope at this point the City fans have turned off because of all the praise I've given them. The point being, you get to a point where Liverpool have switched off now in a couple of games when they've been so far ahead, and they've allowed the other team into it. If they'd have started well against City, you'd imagine they could have done more in that game, and they would have given City more to think about that maybe wouldn't have made them feel or look so dominant. In the Benfica game, we allowed them back into it. We took our foot off the gas. But before that, there were plenty of clean sheets that were much more impressive. This game, the same. I'm kind of buoyed by the fact that they were similar goals. I'd imagine Pep's highlighted that. It's going to be very difficult for class wingers like that to do that against Van Dijk and Robertson consistently in many games. So I'd imagine that'll be another reason Liverpool sort of play that and will let people in that area very often. It's also the fact that Robbo pushes forward a lot. You could see as well later on in the game, he didn't want Mahrez to get in behind him. And when the chance for the ball to go over the top, he actually pushed Mahrez and made sure the free kick couldn't get taken quickly. So there's little details like that in the game that you want to be cognizant of, shall we say. But no team plays without fragility. No team plays without some sort of weak or underbelly there. There is always somewhere that you can slip a knife into a side, and that's where has been identified with Liverpool. Sadly, it's in these games that we actually needed to win against City, or at least needed to be competitive, and they were, but it would have just been great if we could have got back-to-back wins against City. It would have pushed us on for the rest of the season, put the Premier League in our hands. There's still big games in this season, though. I mean, Liverpool go to Manchester United on Tuesday, and then obviously City have got Brighton. A lot of City fans are confident against Brighton because they think they play a similar style of football. But Brighton are one of those ones where, even if it's a draw, it puts Liverpool in a great position. It puts Liverpool in the driving seat if they can get a win against Manchester United. And then this Liverpool team are going to be the type of side that just go out there and aggressively push the other side. They want to push City at least as far as possible. And as far as possible is pushing them all the way to the end here, because there's only 7 games, 8 games left, 6 games left for some. Depends what match day you're on, because you've got to make up some games. Liverpool are behind with Manchester.
We were just chatting about it off camera.
So,
I'm not a massive fan of it, but what about the violence that happened?
Yeah, it feels good. Yes, it's excellent to be another final. Yes, we should be buoyed by that. That is fantastic.
I really
Crystal Palace, really hard team to play, or Chelsea, even harder team to play. So, who do you want in the final? Let me know. Who do you expect to be winning tomorrow? Are you also buoyed by the fact that Liverpool could have 2 cups this season? Do you consider the League Cup and FA Cup and the Champions League to be a treble, as those are the trophies that Liverpool still have very much in their hands?
Of course, yeah. Look, Atletico were
or do you consider that Liverpool still want the quadruple?
Because
it is still on.
Overs onto the pitch in terms of how his team plays.
Anyway,
they play like
a couple of weeks ago I did a review from exactly this position. I said there was going to be a storm.
When it spills over like that,
and the way to get through it
in the game, right?
I think Liverpool have done that consistently through this.
It's amateur.
It made them look really
farcical. They could have done better in that City
And the main
game.
point that I came away with,
criticism of this team,
I really enjoyed
fragility at the back,
you guys,
and in many ways that sort of buoys other teams, leads them on to Liverpool.
Challenge.
Like it will bond you.
You'll feel like you came away from a really dangerous place. You get out of there, they'll be on the plane back tonight. They'll be going,
not only from Mo and Mane, also later on when you bring on Firmino,
it felt more of a heroic
this team changing the units, all these different things, so many different aspects.
Everyone is thinking
and finally,
now.
I love this Liverpool side when they've got fans in Wembley Stadium who are setting off all those flares. It's a great sight. You know, the sun like beaming through that Wembley rim today. It looks amazing. You get the smoke, you get the sun coming through. It looks amazing, and it gives this a very unique atmosphere there. Liverpool will feel like Wembley is theirs at the moment, and it is someone else's job to come in and take it off them. Will that be Crystal Palace or Chelsea? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know your man of the match. Let me know the rest of your thoughts. Did you enjoy the interview you did yesterday as well? Did you enjoy the interview, sorry, even a week ago now if you're watching in the future? Let me know what you want to see more of on this channel. And we'll see you guys again tomorrow for a review of who will face Liverpool in the FA Cup final. We made it, guys.